Do you ever feel stuck? Like you're not doing what God made you to do? Like your story is just on repeat? Do you have memories or tough things that keep bothering you? We have a special way to help you see things differently with Reframing. The step-by-step instructions are found in our Journey of Restoration e-course that you can access free online. Today, we're going to hear from Ann Nolan from a clip from our e-course. She had had a very hard year after losing her dad and then going through some troubles with her family. But with Jesus, she found a new way to look at all the things and started living an abundant life. Let's listen to Ann Nolan's story from our roundtable discussion and learn how Jesus can help us feel better too. Hello, welcome back to our conversation. I'm Tammie. This is my friend Tracy. We have Molly and Nolan and Tabitha here to have some discussions. And Molly's going to start us off with a recap.
Yes. So as you guys just watched, Dr. Lori gives really cool verbiage to routine, and we are in reframing. So what that kind of looks like is as we go through life, there might be some unresolved speechless terror, which is how she defines trauma. So then whenever that happens, it's kind of like you have this floating around out in your brain. But the thing is that has to have some kind of a narrative so that it doesn't invade our present. So you walk around life and then you're bumped into or something happens that reminds you even subconsciously of that event or thing that happened. And so what you have to do is get a narrative to reframe it so that you can file it in the past and live in the present so that you can have the fullness of your future.
That's very good. And one of the things that Dr. Basie teaches us is the frame through which we view a situation determines our viewpoint.
Which I think another way to say is just, in some ways simplified, might be just perspective change. Your perspective is changed on a situation. You see it in a different light. And so it could be maybe it's going to look differently, I guess, depending on what your situation is. But you just all of a sudden, oh, wow, there's a shift and I see it differently now. And it makes things hopeful and a hopeful light, how Jesus sees it.
Well, seeing it through a kingdom perspective.
Right.
Instead of just what our brain's wired to see.
Yeah. Which is really cool that I love reframing because it takes everything that we've learned so far and reframing is the culminative, this is it. This is what we've been preparing for. In order to reframe with Jesus, first you have to be connected to him. And then you have to be connected to yourself to even know that something's off. And then you have to have a community of people that can sit with you or walk you through the process of reframing, or someone that you can share who can bear witness to the things that have happened to you or that you're hearing from the Lord to make sure that that's in line with what he's saying. And then it uses all of the psychoeducation. I mean, and even when you're saying it gives a new perspective, but then you get to choose to order your RAS to see that new perspective. This is the best part.
Yeah. You have to even know that we need to reframe something. We've learned the techniques and the tools. If something, we get bumped and, Galatians 5 doesn't pour out of us, then that sort of gives us that cue to be, okay, why was that? It's a time to have some curiosity about behaviors and reactions to even start to know that we need to have a reframing moment with Jesus.
Yeah. And it's not a one and done.
No.
So it's definitely a tool to keep a hold of, to even process through having a hard day. Okay, Jesus, where were you? What do I need to know about today?
And building that community that will help us when we don't maybe recognize as quickly as they do that we need to reframe something.
Right. And it may be as simple as being stuck. I know that was my situation, just sort of feeling stuck. And I think there have been a lot of events in life that had sort of taken the wind out of my sails, so to speak. But after my dad's death and then stuff with, the long year that was, and then stuff with my children. And then so all of a sudden, I'm just sort of not living the abundant life that I need to live. And how do I get out of this? And so for me, it was just him showing up. And there are a lot of ways to get there. But for me, praying and asking him to fill the longing that I needed to be filled, to be able to identify that and then ask him to do that. And he just all of a sudden revealed to me, it was revelation. I've always been there. I was there for you then. I'm there for you now. I will be there for you tomorrow. So that even though nothing was resolved, the circumstance in my life, the circumstances were the same, but my perspective had shifted. And so it may be a traumatic event that you need to be help with reframing, but it also might just be sort of a life outlook.
Yeah.
Like, wow, just a little shift made all the difference.
Can we change our behavior just by changing how we see a problem? Can a new perspective actually change everything? The truth is, an internal shift can greatly affect how we feel and how we act. Can you allow Jesus to guide your very own internal shift to get his perspective? Anne Nolan's story shows us that while her tough situation didn't disappear, her new perspective with Jesus changed how she felt about them and how she lived her life. This internal shift brought her peace and strength. So remember, sometimes the way we see things can make all the difference. With Jesus, we can find new ways to handle our struggles and find our peace, no matter the situation. Find more great examples of living life with Jesus in our online e-course, The Journey of Restoration, CPR Style.